Ireland is the chief enforcer of the world's toughest privacy rules. So what does all this mean for me and my data? Well, it means that you should be concerned. Since May of last year, Ireland has been the chief enforcer of the General Data Protection Regulation, which is Europe's privacy law and applies to companies like Google, Amazon, Twitter, and Facebook. The GDPR is a set of privacy rules that basically state you need to gather someone's consent before you're taking their personal data, and they're in charge of looking after these big Silicon Valley companies. But what we can say is that up until now, Ireland's record as a regulator has been patchy, so to speak. Not too long ago, the main privacy regulator was located in a tiny office above a convenience store in a town called Portarlington and is very far from any of the tech companies' headquarters. They've moved into fancy new offices in the center of Dublin and hired a whole bunch of new staff. But when you look a little closer, there's still some pretty serious questions about the regulator's independence and its willingness to apply the full force of these rules, which say if a company has violated the GDPR, they can face a fine of up to 4% of their global annual turnover. That would be several $billions for a company the size of Facebook. I spent most of a year examining Ireland's behavior as a regulator of Silicon Valley, and what I found was a pattern of accommodating corporate interests. What emerges is a pattern of Ireland not taking the toughest action it can as a regulator, which makes sense when you consider that Ireland is enormously reliant on income from the tech industry to fuel its economy. If Ireland is not taking the job seriously, then there's a good chance that violations are happening even now, which could mean that the next big data scandal, like the Cambridge Analytica scandal, is maturing and festering as we speak. Ireland actually conducted one of the most thorough investigations of Facebook back in 2011 and 2012, around the time that the Cambridge Analytica events were happening. Ireland had a chance to nip that scandal in the bud, and it missed it. Instead gave Facebook a clean bill of health on privacy. A couple of years later, another regulator, the British regulator, would investigate Facebook and found that they had violated privacy law deliberately. Well, what comes next is whether Ireland is actually going to live up to what it says and enforce these rules. Ireland has 16 open investigations against multinational tech companies, and it says that it's going to be taking its first decisions from this summer. And that's when we'll really see whether Ireland has made a break with its past and decided to fully apply these European privacy rules, or whether it's carrying on in this long tradition of accommodating tech companies and accommodating foreign corporate interests for the larger economic interest of the Irish state.